one other topic that you've written about recently is the possibility that, depending on the way these Georgia Senate runoffs can go, in a little bit more than a month away, that Biden could face a Mitch McConnell-led Senate. After all, that it would be back to sort of what the Obama years were like, at least at the tail end. What do you think about the prospects for Biden getting much done if Mitch McConnell has the Republican majority he wants?
It's going to be very difficult. 12 years ago, Mitch McConnell made clear that his intention was to prevent Obama from being a successful president. McConnell's not going to do anything, however, that will harm the Republican Party. So he can't say no to all coronavirus relief. What he'll do is try to severely limit the relief that goes to the people who really need it and funnel as much money as he can to people who don't need it. We've written a DC report about the enormous amount of cash the big companies have on hand right now, in good part because of coronavirus relief, while small businesses are folding left and right. So there'll be a great effort to hobble. One of the things McConnell could do with a majority is just refuse to confirm people, roughly 1,000 appointees, to their positions in the government. Now, he's not going to refuse to approve everybody. That would damage Republicans. But refusing to approve a lot of people in specific jobs would hobble the administration. And that's not good for the country either. So I think we should be very worried that what's happened with the Republican Party here is they've gone from being a party steering us away from the New Deal since Reagan into a party of vandalism and destruction of our government, along with their long-term goals of enhancing corporate power and minimizing the ability of ordinary people to get redress for their grievances, which is a right they have under the First Amendment to our Constitution.
Well, and let me ask you about one aspect of those blocking, people who are nominated. Under Obama, it was very difficult to get any judge, obviously Supreme Court, but even not Supreme Court justices, regular judges to be confirmed. Is there any reason to believe that if Breyer retires in a year, that there's any chance that Biden is going to be able to get a Supreme Court justice?
Well, that's one where I'm going to take the cop out and we'll have to see. The person who's talked about retiring is Clarence Thomas, a man who never should have been appointed to the Supreme Court. I'm sure he'd make a fine traffic court judge somewhere. But both Breyer and Clarence Thomas are likely candidates for retirement. The problem that Mitch McConnell would face if either one leaves is what to do about 8-8 decisions, the 4-4 decisions by the court. What to do if anybody moves away from the majority that the conservatives expect. And I don't expect Mitch McConnell to do anything other than try to make sure that only right-wing judges, whether qualified or not, serve on the bench. You know that 10% of all the sitting federal judges, Article 3 judges, are Trump appointees, every 10th one. Many of them were never vetted, that is, their backgrounds investigated. And I'm sure over time we're going to find that a number of them are just awful judges who are there, like Antonin Scalia was in the last half of his term on the years on the Supreme Court, to fulfill their bigoted view of the world rather than engage in serious legal thought. As long as a judge is honest, we should be satisfied with their performance. But we've seen again and again the Republicans put forth people who are not honest about who they are, their jurisprudence. And we've had some people who have just awful, awful views of the world. Neil Gorsuch, for example, who I think is basically an honest guy, wrote in a minority opinion when he was a federal appellate judge about a truck driver who was freezing to death. The only reason he didn't freeze to death was a phone call woke him up in his truck in 14 below zero weather. And his air brakes were frozen, so he disconnected his load and, almost out of fuel, got himself to a diner where he warmed up and didn't die. And Judge Gorsuch said the company properly fired him for abandoning his load. He took the position that you should die or be fired. That is immoral. There is no other way to describe his arguing the strict reading of the law. And by the way, I don't read the statute as he does, but I see how he did that. But to read a law that says die or be fired, you shouldn't be a judge anywhere if you say that.
Yeah, I agree. But you might have come up with a good tagline for the Republican Party going forward. In any event, appreciate you taking the time, David, to join us. Always glad to hear your perspective on politics, and hope that going forward we can keep up the conversation. Thanks again.
Certainly, and thank you, John.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.